Right, okay, so highest common factor, prime factorization. The first thing that I'm going to want you to do here is you need to break these numbers down into the prime factors. And the way you do that is you literally just divide by something that you know that goes into it, and you keep going and you keep going until you can't go down anymore. So for example, something like this, I could divide by 2, and then that would give me 110. 110, that also divides by 2, and that gives me 55. And 55 I can break down into 5 times 11. Now 2, 2, 5 and 11 are all prime factors. They don't go any smaller. I can't make this any smaller. And if I wanted to make 220 from these numbers, I could do 2 times 2 times 5 times 11, and that would equal 220. Now you can also write this as 2 squared times 5 times 11. 2 times 2 is the same as 2 squared. Okay, so that is what we've got. Now 88, I'm going to do it in exactly the same way, and that can be 2 times 44. This could be 2 times 22, and this could be 2 times 11. Okay, and if I was to write this out, I could do 2 times 2 times 2 times 11, or 2 cubed times 11. Okay, now you're looking for the highest thing that they have in common. Okay, so if we have a look just at this row here, what does this row here have in common with this row here? Well, I'll do it in a different pen. I've got this 2 times 2, and then I've got this times 11. Okay, that's got another 2, and that's 5, so they don't share those. So the highest common factor that they have is 2 times 2 times 11. They've got those in common. So 2 times 2 times 11, 2 times 2 is 4, times 11 is 44. That is the highest thing that would go into both 220 and 88. Okay? And that is how you would do it. You find what's common in the prime factors, times them together, and we've got it again. So I'll do this exactly the same with 150 and 250 now. So I'm going to go down in 2s. So we'll go 2 and 75. Okay, now 75, it's a bit of a tricky one. You might know it off the top of your head, you might not, but that's 3 times 25, and 25 is 5 times 5. So we've got 2 times 3 times 5 times 5. Now for 250, this is a bit of a tricky one. You might know it off the top of your head, you might not. But 250 is... That is... I'll tell you what, I'll do this in a slightly different way. So that is 10 times 25. Now 10 can be broken down into 2 and 5, and 25 can be broken down into 5 and 5. There are multiple different ways of breaking it down, but that is probably one of the easiest ways. So we've got 2 times 5 times 5 times 5, or 2 times 5 cubed. This could be 2 times 3 times 5 squared. Doesn't really matter how you write it. But what do they have in common now? So we've got 2 in both of them. I've got 2 5s, and those are separate. So I'm going to have 2 times 5 times 5. Now 2 times 5 is 10, times 5 is 50. And that is the highest common factor of both 150 and 250. So if you do every question just like that, then absolutely perfect. That is exactly how you need to do it. And it'll also help you later on when you come to the lowest common multiple, because it sort of gets done in a very, very similar way. Okay, so good luck with that. I'm sure you'll be totally fine. Any questions, just ask.